What's up? Welcome back to Duty's Daggers, and we are very fortunate to be able to check out the new Demko Seax AD20, the Seax blade shape. I knew that these were coming, and unfortunately I couldn't afford one at the moment, but man, I really wanted one. I hope they make more, and I hope it's at a time where I can afford one, because this is really badass, man. So it's an 80-20, but there are some little differences. It's not an 80-20 handle. There's some differences. So do they even call it an 80-20? I think they do. But yeah, it's a little different. As you can see, the lines down here are different. Instead of like this kind of bigger choil-ish looking thing, there's kind of this straight slot. I mean, they do the generally same thing. We have this kind of like little hook back here, which I really like about the 80-20 handles. It really like locks you in. It makes you feel very secure in the handle. So I like that. The shark lock kind of clearance area, see this little notch for the tip of your finger? It's much larger in this one. So you're able to get more of the shark lock on your finger, which I really like. I think that was a really, really good change. You can see the difference there. And it's a little bit smaller. The handle is a little smaller. So if I line up the tops here, you can see on the bottom, it's a good like 1/4 inch smaller, I would say. Obviously the blade's shorter. It's kind of more of like a stubbier looking blade shape. Kind of would remind me more of like a shark's foot shape. And these are full titanium scales with milling, with a texture, which is just amazing. Handling this one really made me want to get titanium scales for my 80-20 Slim. I think the only way you can do it is from Original Goat. If anyone else knows a way that I can get titanium scales on this, let me know. But I think Original Goat's the only way. I might do it. I don't know. But this just feels so good, man. You know, it's heavier, obviously, but it's not like a brick. Like, it feels just really solid and good. The disengagement and the, the deployment just feels really just more metallic, sort of clicky. I really like it. So let's check out this blade shape. It's very interesting. It's kind of a sheep's foot, but the grind up here does something very weird. Look at that. So it gets very, very thick behind the edge up here. This is a piercer. This is meant for piercing things. This is an extremely strong tip. You would be really hard pressed to ever break that on anything. So extremely, extremely thick tip. Which for some people is great. For other people, maybe not. It's not going to be the sliciest thing in the world. It is extremely thick behind the edge, but it looks cool. And God damn it, I can't check behind the edge, man. But it is really, really thick. Really thick. Much thicker than my spear or my drop point. Do they call this the spear point or the drop point? I can never remember. I think it's the spear point. I don't know. It's much thicker. It is very, very thick. But maybe it'll still cut really good. I don't know. The guy that lent this to me said that I could cut test it. By the way, this isn't mine. I wish it was. This was sent to me by a subscriber and friend to let me check this out. And yeah, as soon as I messed around with it, I was like, oh, I wish I hadn't missed out on that drop. So we have 2 deployments, the stud and the slot. Both work really good. The shark lock is not a snappy lock because it has no detent. There's nothing there. There's no resistance to help you snap that blade open. But you can still use you could still pop this thing out, man. It's pretty easy. It's actually easier than on mine. Maybe because the blade is shorter, maybe? I don't know why. Yeah, I would say the deployments are great. Very smooth. Oh man, it's so cool. It's just so cool. The stonewashed, the titanium handles are It looks like they're sort of acid washed, maybe a little bit. Definitely stone washed. I think the texture is really cool. Typical Demko clip. I always put a Lynch deep carry on mine. Yeah, really good clip. Now, one thing that someone mentioned in the comments that I hadn't realized yet is this is going to be very difficult to sharpen on a fixed angle sharpening system. The fixed angle sharpening system keeps a very consistent edge or edge bevel angle all the way to the tip, but this changes at the tip. So I'm not sure how you would do that. Maybe you would sharpen like up to here with one angle, and then you'd have to kind of like do a bunch of little gradual changes as you get to the tip. I'm not sure how you would sharpen this. So that in itself is a little bit of a deterrent. I like to be able to sharpen my stuff if I want to and when I need to. So I'm not sure how sharpening this would be. If any of you in the comments are hand sharpeners, let me know if this would be difficult to sharpen or not that big of a deal or what. I'm curious. But I'm pretty sure for a fixed angle sharpening system like a Work Sharp or a Hapstone or a TSProf that this would be pretty difficult. Yeah. We do have a sharpening choil, tiny little notch, but it does work. You know, it gives separation between the plunge grind and the edge termination. Actually, a little bit better than on my AD20. It's a little deeper than on the AD20. So that's a little bit of an improvement. The jimping is different. I really liked the jimping on this one. It's sort of like larger jimps, but then tinier jimps in between those two. I think it's really cool, nice and grippy. This doesn't have that, just regular jimping, but still just as grippy. You know, it's not grippier or any less grippy, but I think this one just looks kind of cooler, the double. But it's just a looks thing. Same amount of hardware. We have these 3 pins for the shark lock, and then the 3 body screws. Same on the back side. Same pivot. The finish on the blade looks about the same. I don't really notice a difference there. And this one's in Magna Cut. Usually the blade steel is denoted down there. You see we have Magna Cut, and then mine is in M4. Now this one has an additional number right here, number 35. So I'm guessing these are probably numbered. I don't know how many they made, but this is number 35. Now there is a big pocket of weight relief milled out on the inside. Let's see how much it weighs. .4 ounces, and my G10 AD20 Slim, 5.4. 5.4 or 6.4, so a whole ounce difference, which is, yeah, it's noticeable. You know, it's definitely noticeable. Worth it, I think. So this is, in short, a very heavy-duty blade shape. This is meant for extreme tasks. This is not meant for delicate slicing. This is not meant for very, you know, acute little precise cuts. This is for doing big shit with. This is for stabbing into things, for chopping, for, you know, just really badass stuff. You know, and blessed with the shark lock being an extremely heavy duty locking mechanism, with a coil spring that will never break, unlike Omega springs. You know, I've always said my AD20, this is the knife I would want with me in a survival situation. In any kind of a apocalypse or survival situation, this is the knife I want. It's big, extremely strong lock, very durable, very locked in ergonomics. There's no way that's sliding out of my hand. You know, beefier geometry, you know, even the Slim, still pretty thick behind the edge. I mean, this thing cuts amazingly, but it is thick behind the edge. They're just, they feel indestructible. And this one feels even more indestructible than my AD20. Here's the blade stock difference between the AD20 Slim and the regular. This is, I think, probably pretty close to the blade stock that a regular AD20 has. So there you go. Now we can do some quick size comparisons between some other Demkos. I have a 20.5 here, and then I have a Shark Cub. So it's still definitely bigger than those. Not a whole lot bigger than the 20.5 with the Shark's Foot, maybe a 1/2 inch. And a little bit smaller than the AD20. Blade length we got here is like 3 1/4. And on the AD20, it's about 3 1/2, a little over 3 1/2. Handle is 5 inches. Handle is 4 3/4. So there you go. Do I want one still? I think so. Either I want one or I want titanium scales on my Slim. Because, man, these just feel good. These just really feel good. Again, with the sharpening point, with the fact that it's meant for more tough, extreme tasks, and I don't really do those kinds of things. I do more precise cutting and slicing in my day-to-day. So would it be cool to own one of these? Absolutely. Fuck yeah. But this is a more practical knife for day-to-day use for, I think, most of us. But still, this is really, really freaking cool. So that's about it. That's just a little look at the new AD20 Seax. Thanks for watching. See you next time.